So I've talked about bacon before and cooking it in the oven or dusting it with flour. But if you are a person that cooks bacon on the stovetop, you want to listen in because I've got the way to cook it so it's perfectly crispy and even cooked every time. Usually what happens is that when you cook it in a hot skillet, you usually heat up your skillet, throw your bacon in, there's a lot of smoke, there's splattering, and then your fire alarm goes off, okay? And that's the end of the bacon. The result is usually unevenly cooked, rubbery, or burnt fat from the bacon. And the fat melts at a lower temperature than the meat, so the meat isn't cooked when the fat is. So I'm gonna show you the difference now of cooking it in a hot pan than cooking it in a cold pan and explain to you why the cold pan is better. Now I put this into a hot pan with no grease because it's going to produce enough grease. And now I'm going to put it into the cold pan and then turn up the heat in my other pan. Okay, so I have both my bacon here on a plate. I drained it on some paper towel. This is a bacon that was done in a hot pan, and I must tell you it did splatter a lot more. It did cause some smokiness, but I had my fan on. This is a bacon cooked in a cold pan. So even visually, I find this one much nicer looking, but what happens is that when you do it in a cold pan, again, the fat renders slowly and it helps the bacon start to crisp up, and you keep it always on a medium-low heat. When you added it to a hot pan, the fat seizes and the bacon gets soggy, so that it's basically not evenly cooked. So on this one, the fat is, I mean, it's always delicious, but the fat is actually rubbery. Bacon is somewhat crisp. And in this one, where we cooked it in a cold pan, looks beautiful, stays straighter, and it melds as one piece of meat. So the bacon and the fat come together really well without sensing or feeling or tasting the difference. So do me a favor, next time you cook bacon on the stovetop, do it in a cold pan, medium-low heat, flip it until you want it the way it's done.